Hey guys, welcome back to Reverb. This is Jessica Burdeaux, and today I'm going to be showing you several affordable options to help change the tone of your snare without having to buy a new one. Today we're using a drum that's very affordable and very easy to come by. This is a Ludwig Acrolite, and I'm going to give you an example of what it sounds like with just a single ply coated head and stock snare wires. So for our first example, we're going to talk about something that might be an obvious choice, which is different ways to muffle your drum. So you've seen people do it with wallets and gels and towels, but today we're going to show you a few examples from a brand called Big Fat Snare Drum, who make rings that can do anything from basic overtone control to give you a really, really fat snare sound that almost transform the drum. So for this example, we're using the Donut XL, which is going to give you just enough muffling to help focus the tone of the drum. So next up we have the Medford Square. This is also by Big Fat Snare Drum, and it is going to give you a really fat snare sound. In addition to muffling the drum, it's also going to lower the pitch. For this next example, we have the Snare Berean Donut, also by Big Fat Snare Drum. In addition to muffling the snare, it's also going to give you a little bit of the auxiliary percussion sound. So if you want to double up on a tambourine part, or if you just want to add a little bit of sparkle to the backbeat. The other cool thing about these products is that you don't only have to use them on your snare. You can move them all around your kit and make a lot of very unique and interesting sounds. If you want to get a little bit more adventurous with your snare tone and you have a splash cymbal laying around, if you put this on your snare, it's going to give you a really cool, more electronic sounding snare tone. Another way to get a really processed and electronic sounding snare tone is simply to flip it over. And this is really great for lighter playing situations because, of course, you are playing near the wires and the head is a little bit thinner. So it's really cool to get those lighter textures out of it when the situation calls for it. In addition to playing on the bottom snare head, you could also experiment with different sounds, such as running your stick across the snare wires. Another inexpensive way to change the tone of your snare and get a brighter, crisper sound is just to change out the snare wires. A standard set of snare wires has about 12 to 16 strands, but today we have on Pure Sound Super 30s, so that's 30 strands, and that's going to give you a crisper, brighter sound. For our last example, we're going to look at one of the cheapest and easiest ways to change your tone, which is changing your drum head. Today we're using a clear Remo pinstripe head, which is traditionally used on toms, but it gives you a really fat, deep, and sensitive snare sound. We've also left on the Pure Sound Super 30s for an even fuller sound. Well, you guys, that's all we have for you today. If you like what you heard, you could check all of these products out on Reverb. The products are cheap, but the sounds ain't. See you next time. Oh my God, that sounds really good. Like really good. Wow.